Welcome to episode 97 of the LOTD pod, the Left of the Dial podcast. Along with my friend Richard, I'm Click. And how are you this week, Richard?
All right.
all right. So this week, we'll be dropping this podcast on the morning of September 1st. So seemed like a good time to do. Like sometimes show ideas come to you in like different orders. You might have the basic idea for the outline of the show, and then you have to figure out what the name of the show is. This week it was one of those things where the name was what led the way. So just thinking about the fact that it was September. Not many things are associated with September. It seems to be one of those months where, I guess do you think of Labor Day? I'm not sure what else you really think of with September.
I don't even remember when Labor Day is. I have to ask people all the time because I get it confused with Arbor Day and all the other ones.
So yeah, when is Arbor Day? I don't recall.
See, that's a whole other problem.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there isn't like it's kind of a transitional month where you're maybe going to end out with fall-like weather at the end. It's hard to know anymore as far as that goes. But
you're right. I never really think about that too much. But yeah, it is. It has like some real sudace to it.
Yeah.
Where I think left over from school, where like summer's over, and
kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's transitional because you definitely still have summer weather usually, at least for maybe half of the month, I think. But my biggest association with September, other than maybe Labor Day, is the song "September Girls" by, of course, Big Star, written by Alex Chilton.
Classic.
Yeah. He wrote the song because I'm blanking on. I always blank on names. But anyway, it was right there on the tip of my tongue, and I lost it again. So the longtime love of his life during the Big Star days was born in September, and he was born in December. So that was the basis of the song. It was September Girls and December Boys Got It Bad. So anyway, that was like the basis of what I thought would be a good show we could do. Would be female artists with birthdays in December.
That's awesome.
Or in September, I mean to say.
Yeah.
That one.
So, I'm tracking.
Yeah, so September Girls is what we're talking about today. And we both have made playlists that we have on our Spotify page, and they're compiled of favorite songs of favorite female artists who have September birthdays.
That's right. And you can find my playlist. It's called Women of September, LOTD Pod 97. And along with our playlist, you can listen to our previous episodes of Left of the Dial podcast.
And listen to previous playlists too. My playlist is called September Girls, which is the name of the show. And of course, some debate between us before the start of the show. I'm not trying to say that these aren't strong women. These are very strong women. But September Girls is the name of the song that gave me the idea for the show. So that is why the title of the show and the playlist is September Girls.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And conversely, if the show were about December boys, they would all be, probably all be men. So anyway,
it's cool. We can move on.
No disrespect is meant, is what I'm getting at. Only the utmost respect for these artists.
Of course. That's how we roll.
Okay, so I don't know what the earliest birthday is on your list. Mine doesn't come up until the 7th of the month. So
Oh,
if you
wait.
have,
I might have one before. For your first one is on the 7th.
Mhm.
Okay, I've got two then. We've got Dolores O'Riordan, may she rest in peace, with a September 6th birthday, September 6th, 1971.
Okay.
And you'll find a really cool track that I just discovered kind of recently called Got It by the Cranberries. Dolores O'Riordan being most well known as being the lead vocalist of the Cranberries. And this is from the album In the End, which is kind of a bittersweet album because it's what they were recording at the time that she died, and a lot of the vocals were kind of demo vocals or half done. But some real gems in here, and Got It is definitely one of them. So check it out. And I think one of the neat things about this album is that maybe the vocals are even better because they're demos. They're not like they're real spontaneous. And she had a great voice, and died too young. So we've got Dolores O'Riordan with September 6th. But wait, before that, we've got Queen Bee, we've got Beyonce. And I wanted to include her epic song Formation on my playlist. So definitely check that out from the Lemonade album and film. So yes, please, anytime. Beyonce's great.
Yeah, no, the Cranberries. I'm not the biggest Cranberries aficionado, and I think it's one of those bands where not that there's anything wrong with this, I don't suppose, but I think what happens to be the Cranberry song that I really like the most is definitely the one. Well, I guess maybe not the one that was the biggest hit, but the one I think that is most well known, and that's Dreams. But maybe Zombie was a bigger hit. Not sure.
Yeah, probably Zombie and Linger. I think those are two of the most giant hits by that band.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking Dreams was probably bigger than Linger as far as hitness goes. Could be wrong, but
I've got Zombie, Linger, Dreams, Ode to My Family, and then Zombie Acoustic as the Spotify top streams, which doesn't always mean everything, but
so which one was number one?
Zombie.
Zombie. Okay. Yeah, I had a feeling. I don't not crazy about Zombie. I really like Dreams though. Anyway, so yeah, when it comes to that band, I don't have like a deep cut to offer. I like Dreams a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
I really got back into this band. I don't think I was ever like a huge fan when they were really popular in the late 90s, early aughts, but my my super talented, interesting wife Susan is a really good ukulele player, and one of the bands that she really likes to jam on is Cranberry songs on the ukulele. So kind of got back into them that way.
no. So what's her favorite song to favorite Cranberry song to bash out on the uke?
Zombie is a really big one, and that's a neat one too because been kind of working through some genealogy with my sister and going back to our Irish roots and talking about the history of Ireland as a country and as a people and yeah the family history in Belfast, which obviously is a big part of Zombie. Talking about the Troubles and the 1916 rebellion. So yeah, it really ticks a lot of boxes for me.
All right. Well, moving from the 6th to the 7th of September, I have a couple on my list that kick off my list. Chrissy Hind of the Pretenders is the leadoff track. Show Me from the Pretenders from Learning to Crawl. A song that I think kind of gets a little lost in the shuffle for the Pretenders. I think it's a great song. I think they have quite a few that get lost. Like everybody knows Brass and Pocket, and probably knows Kid and Don't Get Me Wrong and all of that. And those are great. But Show Me, I think, gets a little lost in the shuffle. And so I wanted to include that. Kind of a lifelong Chrissy Hind fan. And then second on my list is Holly Golightly.
Yeah, good one.
Of Holly Golightly of the Head Coatees. A lot of early work with Wild Billy Childish. The track that I went with, There Is the End, or There Is an End. Her collaboration with the Greenhorns that was on the Broken Flower soundtrack. Definitely like this version of that track the most, so I wanted to include that version.
Holly Golightly is the only reason I've ever been in the women's bathroom of Gabe's Oasis in Iowa City.
Okay, well, that I think that has to be told. What's that story?
She was playing Gabe's. I forget who else was on the bill, but it was pretty good. She only played like 5 songs or something, and then said that her voice was shot or something. But I was talking to her, and I don't know if I think I was working at the Daily Iowan, or maybe it was for my radio show, trying to get like a stinger from her, and she was pretty tipsy. I was pretty tipsy, but she was like, "Oh, we're not going to get any good recording unless we record it in the women's bathroom." So she made me record her one-liner for my radio show in the women's bathroom, which I thought was kind of weird. But
yeah, was that the upstairs bathroom or the downstairs?
Upstairs, yeah.
Okay, so this is going to be too inside baseball, but Gabe's notoriously has, like anytime I've talked to, a musician anywhere that has played Gabe's,
it's got a reputation, yeah.
They can be decades removed from ever playing Gabe's, but their big memory of Gabe's will be the restrooms because they're just awful,
disgusting, yeah. Just
yeah.
so bad.
So are the women's restrooms any better than the men's restrooms, I guess is the question.
Especially with the upstairs of that venue. Yeah, totally. Because
which still wouldn't make them good if they're better, but
they're better by like 25%.
Okay.
Because it's not just like a giant trough.
Still doesn't rise to mediocre, I would say. But
anyway, maybe we should move on. But yeah, it was a good show, and she was really fun. Yeah, it was fun to see her play because I'd kind of gotten into her music from college radio, like reviewing one of her albums or something like that.
All right, so moving on to do you have any from the 7th?
7th, Chrissy Hind is on the 7th. That is the only one. I've got a couple on the 8th. I think you do too.
Definitely. I have a trifecta on the 8th.
Yeah. Okay. What you got?
Okay. Well, to kick off the 8th, I have a little-known artist named Patsy Cline.
Oh yeah.
Along with Los Jordanaires and her version of "You Belong to Me." So yeah, Patsy Cline, of course, country music. I think it's safe to say Hall of Famer. I didn't check the facts on that one. I'm going to go out on a limb and say
a legend. Yeah,
go out on a limb and say she's a country music Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah, Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Just kind of maybe like a country music Mount Rushmore person. Is that
Yeah, I think
is that
one of the most famous women in country who doesn't have the last name Parton or
yeah,
Carter.
right? Yeah. And then also on the 8th, Nico Case. Nico Case, part-time new pornographer and part-time Nico Case, I guess. And the song that I have from Nico Case is "Man from the Worst Things Get," yada yada yada. And then another one of my favorites, I would think is safe to say, Amy Mann. And my favorite album by Amy Mann, "I'm Was Stupid." I have "Amateur" from that album.
For whatever reason, I grabbed covers by both of them. We have Amy Mann doing her version of "Hold On" by Tom Waits on my list, and then "Dreaming Man," which is originally a Neil Young song, but wow, Nico Case's version is so good. Um, if you haven't heard it, you got to hear it. I think it's recorded in her kitchen or something, but it's gold. It's one of my favorite. Um, just on a technical level, it's one of my favorite like recordings by her. But it's just yeah, it's beautiful. It's great.
I must have heard that at some point. I don't recall this, but
I don't think you've heard it then because
well,
you would have known.
it was I was going to add it to my Neil Young covers playlist, but it was already on there. So I think I must have heard it, but I don't recall this one.
Yeah, it's
Um,
memorable. It's pretty memorable.
I'm gonna say though, just just to not to put words in your mouth, but I would say this wouldn't be a comment on their songwriting skills because they're both really good at that, and I would especially vouch for Amy Mann because I think she's top notch songwriter.
Oh yeah, totally. And I think her last album, "Mental Illness," is probably my one of my favorite records by her. I'm not as familiar as you are because as you recall from one of our previous shows, you kind of like introduced me to Amy Mann. Uh, but yeah, yeah, no comment at all on their songwriting skills. I just kind of figured that you'd get the you know you'd get the original stuff. I'd get the covers. So
Fair enough. Okay, anything else on the 8th for you?
no, I think we're nope, nope.
Okay, well I'm good until the 14th. So what do you got between here and there?
Um, 14th. Well, on the 14th we have Amy Winehouse.
Okay, run with that because that was who was on my list, but I don't actually have an Amy Winehouse song on my list because I omitted some. So run with that.
Well, from Back to Black, I have "You Know I'm No Good," which is great. It's um, it's great. The horns in it. It's got this great kind of soul feel. It's she was another one that gone way before her time. If you haven't heard this album, if you haven't heard the song, go check it out.
All right, and yeah, I actually don't have any until like the 22nd now. So do you have any between the 14th and the 22nd?
Sure, sure. We've got Lita Ford from the Runaways. So we've got some got Secrets, I think, from the that first Runaways record. Lita Ford being the guitarist in that band who totally slays.
And I'm gonna say
Um,
not to give anything away, but she isn't gonna be the only runaway
oh
on
yeah,
this.
yeah. You can't ignore the
Well,
person you're referring to.
yeah, the person we haven't talked about yet, but
And then
coming up.
Mama Cass, her birthday is also on the 19th. So we have Dedicated to the One I Love by the Mamas and the Papas on my list.
All right. Well, and then on the 22nd, yeah, the other runaway that is on this list. Someone that if you haven't heard of Lita Ford, you've probably heard of Joan Jett. So at least you probably know of one Runaway. And the track that I went with, I couldn't resist going with Bad Reputation, and that's definitely my favorite Joan Jett song. It doesn't hurt that it's also the theme song of one of my favorite TV shows ever, Freaks and Geeks. But
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
yeah, definitely solidifies things for me. But it's just a great song anyway. Bad Reputation, from the album Bad Reputation, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
Love Joan Jett. She's so cool. And there was a period in my life where no matter what I did, I would accidentally end up seeing Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
You would accidentally see them?
Yeah, just like maybe 2 or 3 times in maybe 2 or 3 years. When I was living in Portland, they were playing at a Nike marathon kind of thing, and they were along with like a bunch of other 80s bands, including Devo, which was awesome. And then got sent out to cover a Warped tour, and I got to see him again.
Yeah, I kind of regret that I had the chance to see her live one year when I went to Riot Fest, but she was playing like she was I think the headliner on the Friday night, and I was going to be there for the whole weekend, and so it was like one of those things where I just didn't feel like I had all 3 days in me. So on the Friday, I was just there for a little bit. I think I saw the Smoking Popes, and I think that was kind of it. And I was just like, well, I'm just gonna save it up for Saturday and Sunday. And so I didn't end up seeing Joan Jett. I definitely wanted to, and thought about it, but I was just like, I had that mentality where it's just like, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and I got to save it up for the next 2 days.
Yeah, good for you. I don't think I have a festival in me anymore. Just
Yeah, it
had to.
it, it was one of those where the Saturday, I mean, the Saturday was just packed end to end. Like the day started with X, and then it was just like, so I mean, right away in the morning you have a band the level of X, and then it was just literally like it was Dinosaur Jr., it was Guided by Voices, Public Enemy, Violent Femmes, all in Blondie, all in the same day.
Gotta pace yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Sunday was also pretty packed too, because Mission of Burma was right away early on, and then the Replacements were the headliner of the whole festival. So uh yeah, I wish I would have mustered it up to see Joan Jett. That would have been cool too.
Well, fingers crossed. Maybe it's not too late, buddy.
Maybe it's not. Yeah, we'll see. Time will tell. Okay, so any on the 23rd for you?
No.
Okay, and on the 24th, I have Linda McCartney. I know when you talk about musical contributions, she isn't like on the same level, I think, as the other women on the list.
Oh, I don't know about. I mean, yeah. I mean, maybe she's not writing and recording folk albums by herself, but she's big. I love her voice so much, and I love her contributions to the projects that she contributed to. And I found a really cool record of. Have you checked out this record, Wide Prairie?
No.
Okay, I don't know. It says it came out in '98. I looked into it a little bit, and it's a compilation made posthumously, obviously, of from I think Paul put it together, and
Maka.
Maka, of all the songs where she sings lead, and it's awesome because people always make fun of her voice, and I don't like that at all because I think she's got a great natural voice. She doesn't sing like she wants to be on Broadway or something. or like be in a Disney picture. And I think it's almost like punk rock, her delivery. Um, uh, the song that I picked out is called "I Got Up" from this record, and it's totally punk rock. It's short, and it almost sounds like a Ramones kind of delivery of how they would sing the song. And yeah, her voice is totally cool, really complimentary to, especially that album Ram, which I know that we both like.
Yeah.
It is what it is, and it's really natural. It's who she is. It's how she wants to sing. I love it. I love Linda McCartney. May she rest in peace.
Yeah, I mean there was I'm not going to go into detail on it, but there was that tape that was released of her backing vocals on Hey Jude. I'm sure you're aware of it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and I've heard a couple, you know, like Wings, you know, live recordings where they isolate her vocals. But if you're singing in a stadium and you're surrounded by like 9 people on stage, almost all of them playing through like giant stacks of Marshall amps,
Hmm.
like your monitoring is not going to be great. You're going to sing bad too. So
Yeah,
yeah,
fair enough. Yeah, and I mean yeah, you mentioned Ram, like yeah, an album that you said it. We both love it.
Ram never gets old. Every
Yeah,
time I listen to Ram, I hear something new, and I like it for like a new reason.
yeah, and
Different
you
reason.
might think that that's Paul McCartney and Wings, or that it's just Paul McCartney, but it's Paul McCartney and Linda McCartney.
That's right.
The track I went with, there's so many great tracks. Not really any bad ones on Ram, but I went with Too Many People. Um, possibly the best one on there.
Yeah, that's a solid track. And if you like that, definitely scope out this album, Wide Prairie. It's got a lot of charm on it.
Okay, September 24th and September 27th, two members of a band, of the same band, Sleater-Kinney. Janet Weiss, her birthday is on September 24th. One of my favorite
Great band.
drummers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Carrie Brownstein's birthday is on September 27th. So I have a Sleater-Kinney song on here for sure. I have One More Hour, from Dig Me Out, which, by the way, that's the best Sleater-Kinney album cover, I think, without a doubt.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I didn't want to slight Janet Weiss by just doing the twofer on the one Sleater-Kinney track. So I included a quasi track, Rockabilly Party from American Gong, as well.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Quasi, it is Janet Weiss and Sam Coombs.
Well, if the album Friends of Rachel Worth weren't in between labels, I would definitely put some of that on there too. Little known fact that she plays drums on a Go Betweens record.
There you go.
There you go.
And also, she was one of the Jicks as well, one of
Oh yeah, yeah. You're right. I
Stephen
forgot about
Malkmus
that.
and the
Yeah.
Jicks,
Yeah. Portland represent.
and in Wild Flag, which I would call a super group, Wild Flag.
Totally. Totes. They don't get a lot more super than that.
And indeed, they do not. Okay, so that's what I have, like one more person on my list, I think,
Oh, what date?
on the 29th.
I've got one on the 29th and one on the 30th.
Okay, so on the 29th, I have Julian Baker, who
Yeah, yeah.
as one of the great albums of the year that we are still living in. Like 2020, it won't seem to end, but maybe not as bad as 2020. But Little Oblivions is her 2021 album, and I have the song Heatwave from that.
It's a great song. I love that song.
Julian Baker also in a super group, Boy Genius, with
Oh yeah, yeah.
Phoebe Bridgers and Lucy Dacus.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, good stuff. I like that album a lot. And that track especially has like all these great parts to it. There's like a little synth interlude that I don't think I realized it had before, which is really, really tasty. Well, speaking of synth interludes, Halsey has a birthday on September 29th. She's got a new album that came out. The album is called If I Can't Have Love, I Want Power. And the track that I picked out is called I'm Not a Woman.
Sounds like the Mitch McConnell story.
Ugh.
Well, it does.
You just made me like physically retch by I was
Sounds,
prepared to talk about this cool record and you rickrolled me with Mitch McConnell.
it sounds like the title of his life story.
Huh. Anyway, let's not invoke that guy. So disgusting. But
I mean,
anyway,
really, a title like that, I wasn't going to come up with anybody that that we do like, would I? With a title like that?
yeah, I mean, or I can just finish my thought, you know.
Okay, go
Like,
ahead. Go on.
so yeah, it's a cool record. Track is called I'm Not a Woman, I'm a God. Um, it's uh, it's really cool. It's um, produced by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross from Nine Inch Nails. So yeah, I think it's really really cool to see this artist go from kind of pop music to doing what she wants, which is a little bit darker. You know, really cool sounding record.
All
And
right, and
then on the 30th, we have Marilyn Miku from The Fifth Dimension. So if you don't know The Fifth Dimension, you probably know their version of Age of Aquarius, but they have tons more. And I would invite you to check out Stoned Soul Picnic, which is totally groovy too.
and this is groovy is the word for
Totally,
sure.
man. Yeah, good stuff.
All right, so that caps off your list.
It does, but there's some that were like right on the edge of having a September birthday, and with like this amount of like
Yeah,
really strong women
I
and awesome tracks, like I had to include them.
yeah,
So,
I don't know if this is really on the edge of having a September birthday. I think that definitely stretches the bounds.
well, that's what I do. So we included some cool tracks from Francesca Lee, who's a San Francisco artist who I'm totally impressed with all the time. She's got some new music coming out. Sasha Dobson from Nora Jones's band has some new music coming out that I included. Carolyn Shaw, the composer, has a great new record out. Oh man, what's that record called? It's called "Let the Soil Play Its Simple Part." And then we have new tunes from Tune Yards, "Hypnotized" from the album "Sketchy."
March birthday, so it's just like
Breaking the rules, dude. And then there's a new album of PJ Harvey demos that just came out of demos from White Chalk, which I think is probably one of my favorite records by her.
PJ Harvey, October 10th.
There you go, right on the edge, dude.
Yeah, right on the edge. Okay, so I guess if that counts, then I'm going to put "Good Fortune" by PJ Harvey on my list too.
Do it. Yeah, you know,
From Stories from the City, Stories from the Sea,
yeah,
which is fantastic album.
yeah.
Love that album.
Her New York record. Yeah.
Yes, but I guess by my standards, not really a September girl. Um, okay, so others that we didn't mention that are indeed September birthdays. Ani DeFranco was born September 23rd. Tegan and Sarah, because hey, they're twins. Who
Oh
knew?
yeah, yeah.
They have a September 19th birthday. And let me see if there's I think there's somebody else, but maybe not. I'm sure there's somebody else we didn't cover. drop us a line if not, put a comment in the comment box, which we don't really have, I guess. If you see this, if you're listening to this via YouTube, you can put a comment in the comment box on who we have left out.
The chat room is blowing up saying you don't know what's going on, but it's okay. Right. We got it. Yeah, so happy birthday to all these awesome people. And well, speaking of awesome people, also snuck in some Billie Eilish from her new record, which is called Happier Than Ever, and it's really good. And the track is called Goldwing. So
December birthday, I think.
Yeah, well,
okay. Give me the pitch on Billie Eilish, because I still don't. I don't connect with it. So what's your pitch?
Have you heard the record?
Not this specific one, but I've heard other stuff.
Well, go check out the record. She's cool. She's she's I think probably 18, but just a really strong, independent person, and she's making her music is produced by her brother. It's a real collaboration, and yeah, it's like indie as hell, and really good, and talk about real stuff about being a young woman in pop music and struggling to not let the people that want to objectify you define you. And in terms of the production, the beats are really cool, and the songs are well written. They're totally sick beats, too. Yeah.
All right, I'll have to check it out, see how sick the beats are.
Yes, we'll see you back here next week. This has been Left of the Dial podcast. Check out our playlist on Spotify, and we'll see what happens next time.
See you then.